classical, actual but classical, practical and factual, aristocratic, harmonic.
It's time. And what's it time for? It's time for more of that dollar collapse stuff. Well, it seems that the rest of the Western world is starting to desert America. Now, there's a new Chinese bank, the AIIB, which is basically a development bank that helps companies that are up and coming invest in their business and helps to make China great. Now, this is exactly the sort of thing that American banks have been doing for decades, and Britain, France, Germany, Italy, they've all suddenly decided, rather than backing US development banks, they're going to back the Chinese development banks. Yes, they're deserting America. This is very odd. And not just that, Australia is now talking about joining them, and that kind of makes more sense for Australia because they are at least in the Pacific Rim. So what's it all about? Well, Britain was the first country to join this AIIB, and the Obama administration just turned around and told people that, well, it's part of a broader trend of constant accommodation of London by London of China, and British officials were restrained in their criticism of China over its handling of pro-democracy protests and so on and so forth. And it kind of really doesn't stack up. Now, obviously Britain's got a lot of banking interests, and we're trying to position ourselves as the #1 destination for Chinese investment, but basically the White House is starting to get a little bit worried, because it would seem that the rest of the Western world is simply ignoring America. Because the rest of the Western world has realised in what dire straits, at long last, and it's taken a long time, in what dire straits the American economy actually is. And this AIIB is not going to be crippled by the same restrictions on investment, that is to say American sanctions against various countries, that the American banks have. And this is a problem. This is a big problem, because it now means that American sanctions won't have the teeth that they used to have. It is a weakening of America's international power, and as such it is bound to reflect on the strength of the dollar. And the strength of the dollar itself is a problem, because traditionally every time the dollar has strengthened, as it has recently, it's come just before a really big financial crisis. So now everyone is expecting a really big financial crisis. Now, this Chinese development bank is definitely not going to help things, because it simply weakens the US position worldwide, and it demonstrates that other Western countries do not have the confidence in the United States that they would have had, say, 10 years ago. Well, I hope you found this interesting and informative, and if you have, please like, share, and of course subscribe. Thank you very much. Well, I've decided to add a bit to this video before I release it because literally just as I closed it down, I subscribed to like an online clipping service, and up popped up a piece of information which confirms the analysis that I'd just made, oddly enough. And this is from Forbes magazine, their markets section. And by the time China launches AIIB, America will have lost count of its true allies. And this is an interesting article which, rather more eloquently than I've just done, expresses the same sentiments. There was a time that America was building global institutions, and countries around the world were rushing to join them as founding members and get a piece of the emerging global market. That was a long time ago, when the world economy was growing by leaps and bounds and America had the dollars, dreams and the drive to lead it. The world economy has slowed down, and China, rather than America, has the money, dreams and momentum to build new global institutions to lead it. It carries on. The trouble is that some of these countries which joined China as AIIB founding members are America's closest allies, like the UK, Italy, France and Germany, and that's a worrisome development for America's influence over the global economy. And so this is a Wall Street opinion which backs my opinion, so at least it shows that I'm going in the right direction. And I expect you'll probably be able to find a lot more articles like this very shortly as the crowd follows along.
Oh, hi, Arduinotronic. For gold news, finances, opinions, art, and just loads of interesting crap. Alright?